Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. This morning I have Carolyn Stash. She is with Atlas Trax. She has been so gracious with her time and sharing with me in the mornings, and what a phenomenal help you have been, Carolyn. Thank you so very much for doing what you do. Welcome.
Good morning. Happy 4th of July to everybody.
Yeah, can't believe it's 4th of July. 4th of July 2020. I'm thinking, we're still February, March. We're so far back there. I don't even, oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm still trying to catch up. It is Independence Weekend. And I hope that the majority of you out there are enjoying yourselves, enjoying this weekend, and that you're reminiscing about what our country and what we've done and how important our freedom is to us. It's just without the freedom, we wouldn't be able to go out there and do what I love, and that is to go fishing. There are places that you're not allowed to go fishing. There are countries where you're not allowed to do that kind of stuff because the government says no. It's like a mean parent. Oh, so anyway, I hope you get to do some fishing today. It's going to be a gorgeous day. As I looked up the map today, there's not a whole lot of activity going on in our area. There is activity happening in the Florida area. It's a lot of it on the West Coast, a lot of it south of us. We're in Palm Beach County. A lot of it down there offshore off of Miami. But generally speaking, it looks like it's going to be a really, really nice day. And I think Carolyn was telling me that she was looking at one of the cameras and that the outlook looks like it's pretty calm out there. So what do you think, Carolyn?
Absolutely. I love looking at the Hillsborough lighthouse camera, and you could see boats going right out the inlet. It looks like a little bit of pea soup out there, but it looks flat, calm, and I'm counting about one center console going out every 12 seconds so far. So people are going out fishing.
Wow. Well, the West Coast is, they're not enjoying the weather that we are over on the East Coast. Northern Florida's suffering from some heavy shower activity up around Apalachicola. A little smaller, but still heavy activity around Gainesville. A lot of activity north of Tampa, and then a lot happening in the Cape Coral area. On the East Coast, on our side, we have some activity going on, but most of it, just about all of it, is offshore. So it doesn't look like it's going to affect us anytime soon. According to the National Weather Service, we're going to have some really nice seas out there today. South-southwest winds, 5 to 10 knots, seas less than 2 feet. Intercoastal waters will be a light chop. There is a chance of showers in the morning, and then more likely a chance of showers in the afternoon as we get into the cycle where we heat up, and then that moist air comes in off the ocean, and the combination of the two brings the boomers. Let's see, tides today are going to be 3:01 a.m. this morning. We've already had a low tide. 8:58, ooh, not too long from now we're going to have a high tide. 3:05 p.m. today we'll have another low tide, and 9:40 tonight will be the following high tide after that. Parks and Recreation today, you're going to have to check and see. A lot of the beaches are closed. I don't even want to get into it. The beaches are closed, so just take a look around. If you do go to the beaches, it's very calm today, so risks of the currents and stuff are very minimal. Just remember, we do have rocks on our beaches in certain areas, so just be aware of that. No reports of man-o-war or jellyfish or anything like that. So all that looks good. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. Of course, we are in the summertime, and you'll be able to cook off the sidewalk here in not too long. So be prepared for that and go out there and enjoy yourself. What do you got planned for the day, Miss Carolyn?
Busy weekend for us with the tracking business. So I've got a bunch of customers that are looking for float plans coming on the way back from the Bahamas. Bahamas was now reopened, so folks were all going over there. Do a little more, finish up the home renovation we started last week, and maybe get the boat in the water. But it's going to be real hot, and we have a 34-foot boat to take that big, dark, heavy black cover off. It's a lot of work. So we'll decide what we're going to do later on. But fishing, a lot of my friends are out fishing today. There's a huge tournament. I was just trying to find the results. The 2020 Blue Marlin World Cup happened yesterday.
Wow.
And we had a few customers fishing. And let me tell you what's cool about that. You can fish anywhere in the world. You get to weigh in one fish, and there's one prize. So we have one customer way down in San Salvador. We have another customer up in North Carolina, Morehead City. I was just going to see if I could see what the results were for some of the readers. I think the biggest fish yesterday so far was 600 pounds, blue marlin.
Wow. So wait a minute. I think I heard you right, but you're saying that it's all over the world?
Yes, this is called the 2020 Blue Marlin World Cup. It was on yesterday, and you could fish out of any inlet in the world.
Okay, now forgive me because I'm ignorant. How do they check everybody all around the world? I mean, it seems like that's a pretty big tournament. So let's say, just to kind of walk it through with me, we're offshore in Palm Beach, and I catch a fish. Who's going to verify that for me?
I think they have set up scheduled scale-in areas, or you have to measure and show video and pictures of your fish as you're catching it.
Oh.
So, that's, I think, how, I mean, there are teams in Hawaii, a lot of teams off of North Carolina, Galveston, Texas. I'm going to see if I can, while we're on the air today, see if I can find out who actually won and what.
That's amazing.
The prize was about $1 million.
Wow, that is amazing. Thinking about Sean, I had invited Sean Miller on this morning, and he had to decline because he's going to be out sword fishing today. So no telling what kind of fish they'll bring back with them. That's what I don't know why, but I was thinking about that when you're talking about this all over the world. I just can't imagine that. We do the one that, we talk about the CCA, what is it, the Clean Captains of America or something like that. I hope I got that right.
Coastal Angler, the Coastal Conservation?
That's it, Coastal Conservation. They have a unique tournament, and the thing that caught my ear about them is that they have the only tournament I've ever heard of where they have a trash component, where you go pick up trash and then you bring it back and you take a picture of it, and they'll put you in, and you may win money for picking up trash. And it's the kind of stuff I love because everybody wins. You go out there, you're going to have a good time fishing. And while you're out there, you see some stuff floating around. It doesn't belong out there. So you pick it up and you stick it in a 5-gallon pail. And when you get back to the dock, you take a picture of it and you submit it. You may end up winning, over $1,000. I think I'm pretty sure it's over $1,000. And the tournament goes on for 3 months or 4 months. It's not a weekend thing or a week thing. It goes on, and there's all these divisions. So that's one of the most amazing tournaments I've ever heard of. I've never heard of a world, all around the world. Wow, that's amazing. That's crazy.
Oh. So I was able to. Robert the Fly Navarro is from Palm Beach, and he does a lot of these tournaments. He gets women fishing. He's out there all the time doing his fly show. Looks like the top fish was 964 pounds out of Cape Verde. Second fish, 667 pounds, Gulf of Mexico. We've got some Portugal, Bahamas, Gulf of Mexico. And last year, the whole event was mainly out of Bermuda, but people were challenged about getting there. So that's pretty neat.
That's amazing.
Bringing qualifying marlin in during tournament hours to scheduled locations. So I guess they know where the hot zones are, and they have some scales and things that were set up for yesterday.
Unbelievable. How was the big one? 800 something?
964 pounds.
Holy smokes. It's not a guppy. It's no guppy.
The only downside is you got to kill them to get them in, but they're only letting you one, so at least there's some conservation in place there.
Okay, now I don't think I've ever had marlin. Do you eat marlin? Are marlin edible? I mean, did they?
You can make a fish dip out of it. I've
out of the
had
shoulder.
It out of principle.
Yeah.
But I try and always conserve billfish. But if you're hungry, a lot of people down islands in Costa Rica will use it for steaks or fish dip, things like that. And,
900 pounds. Whew, that feed a lot of people.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting story that happened to me. I went fishing in Costa Rica a few years ago for Christmas, and we caught a 700-pound black marlin. And we got her to the boat. We tried to revive her, and she unfortunately was tail wrapped. And in Costa Rica, you're not supposed to bring back any carcass, back to land because of conservation. And a tough decision the captain made was to just grab some steaks, and we got back to the docks and fed some hungry people at Christmas. But it's really it's a sad thing when you try real hard to revive one and she's not going to make it.
Yeah, Wow. Well, I think I shared with you when my son got me a fishing trip for Father's Day, and it was just an amazing trip. We caught, well, there's three of us, and my youngest son, my youngest daughter, and I, and of course the captain. And we each caught at least 10 each of these snook, and the smallest one had to be 30 pounds, the smallest one. The bigger ones were 38, 40 pounds. And the thing that bothered me the most was I had to throw the fish back. It was so nice until the captain said, well, we got to put him back now. I said, well, wait a minute. You can't put that thing. That's dinner, man. What are you talking about? Yeah. We had to throw him back.
Sizing that thing up in your frying pan.
Oh, my goodness. They were beautiful, Carolyn. Oh, my gosh. They were gorgeous. And it was amazing. We got out there literally within minutes of anchoring. We had the first fish. And within the hour, we had each caught at least 3 or 4 fish. I'd only experienced something like that once before, and we were 20 miles offshore, and we found a semi-submerged tree out there, and it had all kinds of sea life around it. And that's the closest I've ever been to anything like that, where you literally pull up and start fishing, and bam! And we're not talking small fish; we're talking big fish. It was absolutely unbelievable, and it was amazing. The other thing that I noticed is that we were probably 30, 35 feet of water. The water was so clear, you could look down and you could see them all down there. I mean, hundreds of them down there. It was just unbelievable. It was like something that you would see on like a National Geographic or something, where they find a place and they stick the camera underwater and you look around. The captain had this viewer. I don't know what we call them, but it's almost like a mask, but it's extended. It's like 3 feet long. You stick it in the water and then you just put your forehead on it, and it's like having a mask in the water, and you can see down there. And you could see, oh my gosh, there was everything was down there, but it was mostly snook, big snook, an amazing trip. Anyway, yeah, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. I just didn't like the throwing them back part. So I was going to ask you, did you get to do some fishing this weekend or this last week?
I did, and it was a really busy weekend for us at the business, so I had to make sure I was available. And, even on Friday afternoon, I ran around the neighborhood and installed a bunch of our GPS trackers on boats. And I even had to go put one on a 90-foot yacht that was sitting at the Boca Hotel because they were leaving on a trip on Saturday. So what I did, I just gave them one of our solar trackers, and they never have to change batteries on these things again, and they just mounted, say, outside of the boat. It was pretty cool. And I never even thought about big motor yachts having something like that on them.
Amazing. I like the idea of the portability. The little one that you have that I call it the credit card size. It's not as thin as a credit card, but it's about that size, roughly. I like the idea that it's sealed. You can take it, put it in your pocket. You don't need it on your pocket. You're concerned about a jet ski out in the front yard. You put it on a jet ski. You put it in your boat, and it's just the most portable thing you can imagine. And the part that really blows my mind is 10 feet. Anywhere on the planet, you can find whatever it is within 10 feet. Now, that's a trip. That is amazing. That's amazing technology. How do you follow up with that?
So cool that it's so small, because yesterday I had a customer say, hey, bring me 2 trackers for my jet skis, which I gave him those mini tracks. I didn't expect him to then take the covers off of his jet skis in his driveway and ask me to install them. So let me tell you what, we hid them right underneath the cowling, reached up, found a little spot big enough for, the Post-it note size tracker, like you said, the credit card.
Yep.
Pulled some adhesive and stuck it on in 30 seconds, and now he's protected, his cage and where the kids are when they're taking it out.
Peace of mind. There were so many times in my life where things have happened where my gosh, if I have something like that, the faster you're able to recover whatever it is that has been taken from you, the higher the odds are that you're going to get it back in the shape it was before they took it. The longer that it takes you to get it, the odds go down drastically. The longer the time is, the less chance that you may ever get your equipment, whatever that might be, back. Or if you do get it back, the longer they have it, the more damage that is done to it. So this is an option that is really very inexpensive when you think about it. What is it, like $1 a day or something? It's something very inexpensive.
$1 a day. I mean, I have friends that with the inflatable kayak we talked about that will just borrow one and take it out with them. I think it's so important for safety, especially during these holidays. I mean, you hear of stories of people running boats aground and not being savvy and not being careful.
Yeah.
This is really important to have. If you're overdue, a family member can find you right away. I was hoping to get out and do some fishing, but this was my passion, so it was more important for me to make sure I was around. I even met somebody at a mobile gas station to pick up a tracker on the fly just because they needed one that moment. And and that was yesterday, the day before the holiday. People don't think, gee, I'm leaving for 5 days. No one will know where I am. So I would like to do a little fishing off the dock today. I definitely have some shrimp in the freezer. I've got my little hooks on, and I shaved some of the barbs off, and we'll see what I catch.
Yay, that's cool. I'm thinking there are a lot of small aircraft that fly from Florida over to like Bimini and the Bahamas and stuff like that. Does this technology work in the aircraft?
It does, as a matter of fact, and if I know that it's going on an airplane, I can actually program the tracker for altitude. And why is that so important? Well, if you're flying a general aviation aircraft and you're below 1,000 feet, typically the air traffic controllers can't find you. So if you crash in the water or have to land on a golf course or other things, just getting from point A to point B, now you can see altitudes below. And I'll tell you what's fun. We put one on a float plane. Tropic Ocean Air does freight to Bahamas, and they tried them last year, put them on a float plane because they'll fly groceries to yachts, land, provision the boat, and now they can be a concierge service and say, oh, yes, your plane will be there in 5 minutes. Because they're tracking it. They can have people meet at the airport to pick them up and be very, very concierge service for the aircraft driving. And even just hours, run time, where's the plane? When do we have to have the guys back ready to load it for the next load? So, yes, absolutely. And I have a customer with 3 right now on his aircraft, and I checked. His jet was flying back from Turks and Caicos the other day. So that was kind of fun to just take a quick look.
How cool is that? So it's absolutely portable. It will work. One of the things that caught my interest that I get such a kick out of is the icebergs. We're following icebergs using this technology.
Absolutely. The reason for that is to just kind of get an idea of the current and how these things are moving through the Greenland area. It's a pretty interesting science project. We've got some that are out in the Forest Services that are being used on equipment to know for forest tree clearing, how much of the forest has been logged out so
wow.
that they know how much wood's coming back in. We have had people strap these to pumps and throw them out of helicopters and firefighting by air. They'll throw out the equipment so that the land-based firefighters can actually go and fight the forest fires from the ground, and they can recover their pumps later. So they put our trackers on them.
How cool is that? So many applications, and the one that really is the top of my mind that why anybody would want anything like this, it's called peace of mind. And what kind of price can you put on peace of mind? She's got some cool stuff. We'll talk about that a little later. She's got some cool stuff that I'm a technology nut. It hit me when I was young. I've always been crazy, and particularly about wireless stuff. I was introduced to walkie-talkies when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and that really is what just started the passion about electronics with me. I was so amazed. I'm gonna tell you how old I am now. When I was growing up, the greatest little gift that you could have is this little portable radio. It's called an AM radio. It was transistorized, and you put a 9-volt battery in this radio, and you could listen to your radio stations. AM, this is all you could get. I thought that was the greatest little thing that allowed me to listen to music and stuff. And then one day my friend came over with what I thought was an AM radio, and it turned out to be a walkie-talkie. And when he pressed a button, he gave me one, and he took one. He pressed a button, and I heard his voice come through on my end. I went, holy smokes. That was like nothing I'd ever seen before. And from that point forward, I'd always been crazy about two-way radio. I went from walkie-talkies to CB to ham. When I was in the Air Force, we had a shack, actually a building. They called it the Radio Shack, but it was literally a building filled with radio equipment. And I got special permission to go to the Radio Shack when I was off duty, and we would talk all around the world. And there were places where many times I was in Panama City when this was going on, in Panama City, Florida. We would talk from Panama City, Florida to Panama City, Panama, or halfway around the world to the Middle East, to everywhere. I was always intrigued by the ability of being able to do things like that. And then I find out about your stuff, and I'm going, holy smokes, this is like the next step. 10 feet anywhere on the planet, you can have, you can locate if something has been taken from you. And the other thing I want to talk about later is that hotspot. Anywhere on the planet, it doesn't matter. Your cell phone service it's not limited anymore. That's pretty neat. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. This morning it is Carolyn and I. Robert was going to be on, but I think he was up a little late last night celebrating Independence Day, and he's probably got a headache this morning. No, I'm just making that up. I don't know. But he won't be with us this morning. We'll look for him next week. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking time to join in and allowing us to share with you some of the stuff that we find out about this from week to week. Every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. you can find us here. There's a bunch of different ways you can listen to us. The easiest of all, yes, it has finally happened. Pigs have flown. The app is out. The app has been out. It's in the Google Play Store. Right now it's only available for Android architecture, but it is absolutely free. There is no spyware. There is no push notifications. It's none of that stuff. It's just a way to listen to our home network, WCET FM 101.7 out of Columbia. And it's just the easiest of all the ways. Download the app, free to download. It uses minimal resources on your phone. You just hit the play button, and then you'll hear whatever is live on the network at that time. If you look for a couple of ways you can find it in the Play Store. One way is if you look for Fishing in Florida, fishing_in_Florida, all lowercase, it'll come right up. Or if you look for our home network, WCET FM, it will come up. This morning I have Carolyn. She is with Atlas Trax, and what I like to say about Carolyn is if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to go over there and talk to my friend Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Everybody.
Yeah, you know, I don't know why, but when you first start to talk, it's a little distorted, then it just comes in real clear. I don't know why that happens, but it seems to be predominantly with you. Maybe your phone is mad at me.
You know, I'll try a different headset next Sunday calling.
Oh, is that you're on a headset? Maybe that may have something to do with it. Well, let me bring up my next guest. That's Missy King, and let me welcome her. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are you this morning?
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Good. I'm calling in right now from English, Florida, out of Captain's Cove Outfitters. We're getting ready to head out and go fish today too. When we're done.
Ooh, what are you fishing for today?
Today we're going to actually try for some big sharks. Yesterday we went out and we caught snooks, reds, mangroves, drum. Fishing was on fire.
Oh my
yesterday.
goodness! Wow.
For us. Yep.
And
then today we're going to go for the big fish. Why not?
And
We've been catching a lot of snook around here lately too.
I caught some snook last week, and it made me throw them back.
Oh yeah, me too. Caught a couple over 40 inches and had to throw them back. And it was very good though.
Oh my
and
gosh!
Kind of spotty rain, but not too bad. As long as there's not lightning, I'm a happy girl. Rain makes it a little cooler.
So I think you are, excuse me, you are in the kind of like the Central Florida. Yes.
Yes, we're in Central Florida.
Yeah, and from what I see on the map, it looks like that part of the state looks to be okay until you get further west on the west coast. Then we start seeing some activity going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just to give you a heads up too, last I talked to you, we were doing the Habitat for Humanity tournament, and just to let you know, that was a big success. It was right before all the COVID-19 stuff came out, and that was a big success. And we're scheduled the other one for May 22nd of next year.
Excellent.
Habitat of Humanity.
And of course, that benefits people with homes, right? Isn't that what Habitat does? They build homes for people?
Yes, and the two fishing tournaments that I sponsored for Habitat for Humanity, and then there's a little gentleman, Cody, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, he's an Elvis impersonator. He did 2 concerts, and I actually financed the Habitat house.
Wow. Well, these are the kind of things that I like to hear about, where everybody wins, because it's kind of a selfish thing in a way, because I'm part of everybody. Just the way I look at it, you know, everybody wins.
Exactly.
I'm part of everybody. So, how did the tournament go? How many boats did you end up having in the tournament?
The tournament was right in March, right before everything was shut down around here, and we had captains that fished it, other people that fished it. We had actually right around 30 boats, which I was expecting more, but because of COVID, you know, kind of changed things a little bit. But they still made a profit, and it still went toward the house, so all was good.
Wow.
And I already have people telling me that that was the best tournament organized tournament they've been to, and they're going to spread the word to their friends. So, you know, May 22nd of next year, it might even be bigger, and we'll see what happens there.
Wow.
Missy, this was the first year you did this tournament, right? I remember you talking about it a few months ago.
Yes, this is the second one. The second one. Mm-hmm. The second one, and it's getting bigger. So, and then, like I said, it's for a good cause, so... And we fish all the time, and I fish all the time. And I've done outdoor expos and seminars and different things like that, and trying to empower more women anglers and trying to help them. And I've given a lot of tips and how to tie knots and just different things they were doing and helping a lot of people.
You know, we're talking about
trying to get the ladies to be a little more, able to get out there and not be so nervous about tying knots and picking up a rod and what happens when a fish hits it. And that's great that you can empower others, because that's how I started. I remember my first wahoo, and I couldn't have done it without the help of other people, showing me what to do and laughing at me a little bit. And so that's awesome.
Yes, just trying to have, give them more confidence. And yes, they could do this, just like fishing. What a lot of people forget is someone taught them.
That's true. Yep.
Right.
So, if people want to find out more about the habitat thing, where do they go? Is there a website, or is there?
Yes, it's Habitat of Humanity, Ocala.com.
Okay, I'm right.
And also, I have an Instagram, which is Salty Divas on Instagram.
Missy,
you have a Facebook page?
I do, and my Facebook page is just Missy King.
Missy, give me the website again. Habitat of Humanity, Orlando?
Ocala.
Ocala. Okay, I'm writing it down so I can...
Which is nice. And we fish, and actually where I'm calling from, at Captain's Cove Outfitters, he allows us to have the weigh-in here in his parking lot, which is nice of him. And then we fish anywhere, like in the Gulf, as long as they're back at 4 for weigh-in.
Wow. Well, I am so grateful that we have people like you that do these things, because, again, fishing for me it's like second nature for me. It's something growing up that I think much of my younger life, I think of some of my friends who didn't like fishing as much as I did. They ended up getting in some trouble. I think it may have helped me stay out of trouble, that we were spending our time in a relatively peaceful activity. You're throwing a line out in the water and waiting for a bite. Versus, going around and finding your imagination, allowing your imagination to run away with you and do who knows what. I've always been a fan.
They fish for life.
I've always been a fan of fishing, and in my experience of life, my mom, fortunately for us, my mom loved fishing. My dad was an avid fisherman. So as a family, it was a small, close-knit family. There's only 4 of us. We would go fishing. It wasn't uncommon for us to be fishing 3 and 4 times a month, going out, making a trip of it. We wouldn't be fishing like, we'd go down the street and go fishing. We'd make a trip of it, and we'd end up going somewhere. Sometimes it'd be for the whole weekend. My favorite times was when we'd go for the whole weekend over to Naples. They had a beautiful pier over there, and we would all catch fish, and each one of us had our own little spot that we did for the dinner. Whatever fish we caught, my brother would scale them, I would clean them, my mom would prep them with the spices and stuff, my dad would cook them, so everybody was involved. And I really think that was part of what helped, if you will, the glue that helped keep our family together. And that's why I'm so adamant about and passionate about fishing and getting people interested in fishing. Putting one of my guests, one of my regulars, Robert, He is with the Florida Fisherman magazine. He likes to say, put down the X boxes and pick up the tackle boxes, and that is more and more we need that today. Our kids, they're not taught shop in school. The young ladies aren't taught home ec in school anymore. These are, when you learn the skill of fishing, this is something that literally, and God forbid it ever happens, but this is a skill that could literally save your life. If you can't find food anywhere and you know how to fish, my gosh, we've got three-quarters, two-thirds of the planet is water.
Yes, you always can find food. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And that is so wonderful that you've done that with your family. And I fished also my whole life, too. I started with my family, but they freshwater fished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my dad, we would go on the weekends to fish camps and stay, things like that, but it was for bass and freshwater. And then I started saltwater fishing as an adult, and I'm hooked on the saltwater. So that's what changed that.
Yep. And, we talk about ladies fishing. We're going to have Betty Bauman with Ladies Let's Go Fishing on later. So those ladies who are interested in learning about fishing, we'll have someone on in a little while who can tell you all about it, literally from A to Z. How to catch them, how to tie the knot, how to catch them, what bait to use, how to cook them. She doesn't leave a whole lot
wonderful.
out. And again, for me, I try to promote that because I think that there are a lot of ladies out there. Carolyn loves to fish. Carolyn's an avid angler. Somehow, somebody had to take the time to step up and go, Carolyn, if you want to know how to do this, this is how you do it. And then we've got people out there that are doing that. You do a little bit of that, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I teach a lot of people, yes. And I have ladies' days on my boat, actually.
Oh, cool.
I got a few ladies who want to learn, and and it's just a good thing. And I also, we have kids and things like that. And to see a young child get hooked up on a big redfish or something, it just warms the heart.
To watch their eyes light up,
Yes.
like golf balls. And the excitement on their face, there's no amount of money that you could put on that. That is just something that, you just can't put a price on. When I talk about Atlas Trax, you can't put a price on peace of mind. How can you put a price on that? How can you put a price on watching a young one that you love or you care about just light up literally like a light bulb, and they catch their first fish or they catch a big fish? That really.
And I have to tell you a funny story. If you guys haven't heard of it, look for it on YouTube. There was a gentleman taking his son out fishing on a boat, and he had hooked up to his first fish. And the father unknowingly made the wrong word choice and said, son, let him have it. And the little boy didn't really know what that meant.
Oh,
He threw
no.
the whole fishing rod and everything overboard.
Oh. Well, he was listening.
He was so excited, he just threw it all in the water, and the dad went, no. But that kid was so excited, that father was so excited for him and encouraging him and threw it all over.
Oh my gosh. I kind of figured that was coming as you were leading up to it. Oh no.
I'll never forget that.
Wow.
That is wonderful, Carolyn.
That's a great story. Great story. I have to remember that. Wow.
Yes, and with kids, they don't know what you're saying, so you really have to watch your choice of words. Like the one I'm talking about, the hook, the big one, instead of just telling them let them have it, I just tell them open his bail for a minute and kind of let the fish, run. Then I close it for them and tighten the drag, and then it was good.
Oh my, that was great, Carolyn.
Yeah, you can find that story somewhere, which is great. And Missy, what's your favorite fish to catch? I don't know if you mentioned that. You said you're hooked on saltwater now.
I am, but honestly, my favorite fish is getting into those bull reds. Actually, sponsored by a couple people, and Cassie from Naughty Tales clothing line. She actually named me years ago Redfish Queen because of all the redfish. Yeah.
So is that one of them that you're going to be looking for today when you go out?
Never know. So,
wow.
Just, yeah. I mean, I was on the boat, and just a quick story. Cassie and I were fishing, and my husband and a couple other people, and I hooked in Yankeetown, Florida, a 44, a 39, a 30, a 36, all in one day. I actually broke a rod, honestly, on the 44. So that's the day she goes, that's it. You're Redfish Queen. So.
Wow.
I love the titles. Love the titles that we're getting. We've got the Redfish Queen. We've got Angelia, who's the Florida Salty Cowgirl. I think it's great having these ladies out there fishing. I'm known as the crossing guard.
Yours is what, Carolyn?
I'm known as the crossing guard. I'm the one that tracks everybody going across the Gulf Stream, and that's somehow my nickname. But I need a cooler fishing nickname.
Yeah, we got to give you one. Give you a yeah. And actually, Angela doesn't live far from me, the Salty Cowgirl. I've seen her stuff online too, and I have another friend that's in Williston that also fishes. She's also a Salty Cowgirl, so it's very cool to see these lady anglers.
Wow. Well, this is what happens when we're having a good time. We are all out of time. I am so glad that you took the time to call in and share with us. I totally support the Habitat of Humanity thing. Again, everybody wins, and I'm part of everybody. It makes our society better, which makes everything better. You know, it just helps everybody all the way around. It's wonderful that we have people like you who step up and do that.
Well, you know, I feel you get back tenfold. So that's what I try to do and some other things. But thank you for having me on the show. And Carolyn, nice talking to you. And you guys enjoy the rest of the day. It's beautiful, actually.
It is. It's gorgeous here. Carolyn was reporting earlier. It's just picture perfect today.
Perfect.
Out of Southeast Florida, flat calm. All right, Missy.
Oh,
nice talking with you on Tight Lines, and good job on that tournament.
Thank you, honey. You guys have a wonderful day.
God bless you, my dear. Wish you an awesome day. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, good morning, good morning. We are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. It is an honor and a privilege to have you listen in. Many ways you can listen to us. You can go to our home network, www.wcetfm.com, and we have a player there. You can go to our Facebook page. Now, if you go to our Facebook page, please give us a like while you're there. What that does is it helps us retain relevancy in searches when people go look for us. And while you're on the Facebook page, if you click on Contact Us, you get a link directly to our live server. The easiest, let's try that in English. The easiest of all of the ways is to download our app. We have a free app. It does not have push notifications. It does not have spyware on it. It's just a simple app that allows you to listen to the home network. And you can find it at the Play Store. I think it's going to be in Apple here shortly. If you look for WCET FM, that's one way you find it. And the other way you can find it is all lowercase, fishing_in_Florida is another way you can find it. And download it. Very, very minimal resources required on your phone to utilize it. And anybody who has an Android, right now we're working on Androids. Anybody who has an Android can listen in just anywhere that they got their Android. All right, let me welcome back Miss Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Good morning again, Riscala.
And my next guest is Mike Simko. Mike is with kitefishing.com. I have learned so much from this young man. So much information. When I've heard about kites and fishing, it seemed like an oxymoron to me. In my ignorance, I equated kites to kid stuff. That's what kids do. They go fly kites. And Mike, with his enormous amount of information and all the experience, oh my gosh, well over 10 years, I think, in this category, this industry, whatever you want to call it, has got a tremendous amount of information and really, really opened my eyes up to the exponential power that these things bring. Because, I was ignorant. I didn't know about kites. I had no idea. And there are different kinds of kites for different kinds of weather. And Mike, if you're there, let's welcome you and tell us a little bit about kites.
Riscala, Carolyn, can you hear me?
Yes, Michael. Good morning. How are you? Happy 4th of July.
Oh, good. Same to you guys. Happy 4th. So I just was checking because we're offshore right now. I've got my son and a friend of his. We're doing the full moon drift for mutton snapper right now. So it's we just got started, had a bite, so we'll see how the rest of the day progresses. But regarding kite fishing this time of year, as you guys have probably seen, we've had a week and a half of nothing but slick calm, early morning, no wind at all. And in those conditions, it's difficult to get a kite flying. If you don't have just a little bit of breeze pushing the kite away from the boat, what will happen is, even with the assist of a big helium balloon, the kite will want to fly straight up above the boat. So that's when conditions like these become a little bit difficult. But then in the afternoon, in the same 10-day spread, the afternoon winds have picked up nicely, 10, 15 knots, perfect for flying a general wind kite. And consequently, the fishing's been great. I saw about yesterday coming the inlet Southern Run, they were flying 5 sailfish release flags, so there's still a summer sailfish bite there.
Wow. I have probably a silly question, but it's just I'm a curious kind of guy. Is there such a thing as pulling the kite, kind of like trolling at a really, really, really slow speed? Do people do that?
Absolutely. So think about this. To troll a live bait, you really want to be making a very, very slow speed. So at best, you can add a couple knots, let's just say a couple knots of wind by pulling the kite. So that's not quite enough. 2 knots of wind, 3 knots is not going to be enough to keep that kite really pegged back behind the boat. And then if you decide to turn the boat in any way, it counteracts that. So, but yes, slow trolling, I do that quite often. And most of your big diesel inboard boats will do that. They have trolling valves. They point the bow into the wind, and the boat just slips, the transmission slip ever so slowly, and keep that boat crawling in that direction that it needs to be into the wind. and that pushes the kites back. It does assist the kites in even better wind days.
Would today be one of those days? Because Carolyn tells me now. Carolyn's fortunate. She's out there almost on the ocean, so she has a pretty good indication of what's going on. And she said this morning it's picture perfect. It's calm. It's like a big puddle out there.
It is. I'm just in the spot that I am, which is off of Singer Island. We don't quite have enough breeze, but it's starting to pick up a little bit from when we started this morning. So I started in what looked like Lake Atlantic with absolutely no ripples, no wind, current, nothing. And now we're getting a little bit of a breeze, maybe 5 knots.
Wow. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, I was going to ask, what time did you head out this morning, Mike, to go hit those muttons?
We got a little bit of a late start, so I took off at 7:30 and we got out here fishing around 8. It's always tricky, as you know, around the full moon because, if you have a really bright moon at night and a good bite time, they'll feed during the night. But this morning we had a little bit of a minor bite time right at sunup, so I like that. And we'll see what the rest of the day looks like.
Some of my favorite.
So, I don't remember if I heard. Have you put anything in the box yet? Or are you still working on it?
No. We just missed one good bite, and that was it.
Some of my favorite times is full moon at night, to go fishing with the full moon, and it's just awesome to be out. Even if you're not, I don't know why, but it seemed like the full moon nights we didn't do as well fishing. But the atmosphere, the just to be out there and see the reflection on especially on a day like today when the ocean becomes a giant puddle, to see that at night, it's just amazing. Some of the times that we spent off of Key Biscayne, I think that's what it's called. It's been a long time. And you get off maybe 5 miles offshore and you turn around and look back at the shoreline and all the lights, and it's like a giant mirror. It's just a very difficult thing to put words to, but it is an awesome sight.
Well, the other thing about the summertime. Go ahead. Sorry, Carolyn.
I was going to say the other thing about going out with that the early evening hour too is it's not so blazing hot, so even the anglers are a little more active on the boat too. And Mike, you've got a good time out there now where it's not 99 degrees yet, and you can move around the boat a little bit more easily too.
No question. And the other nice thing about the full moon in the summer, that's when a lot of that's typically when congregations of snapper occur.
Oh.
So it's really a nice time. So again, if we mark some fish and they decide they're going to start biting, it could be really a great time to catch mutton snapper.
See, I just learned that. So when we have a full moon, it's the snappers tend to come together more during that period than other periods.
Especially spring and summer. That's when muttons tend to spawn.
Wow.
So yeah, they're going to congregate definitely around these full moons.
Wow, I just learned something new. I love it. That's great. So
I never thought about snapper fishing in the morning, but that's a really good point, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the full moon morning. I mean, the early bird is going to get one, but it's a tougher time to fish. I mean, if you're really going to get them, go for the major bite time right in the middle of the night of a full moon. You'll probably have a nonstop melee.
Wow.
What kind of depth are you in?
Right now I'm at 245. No, that's another thing. You try to mix it up. I started really early. I started out in 85 feet, and it looked like there were fish, but nothing was biting. So you start moving slowly offshore, pick your lines and move offshore around some of those wrecks, and the water's cooler, and generally the fish are less spooky. As you know, the weekends also get packed with divers and spear fishermen. So when that all starts, it's time to go back to the dock.
So when you're fishing 245 and you're fishing for snapper, you're down at the bottom. How are you keeping what are you using for bait, and how much weight are you using to keep it down there?
Today, we don't have a really ripping current. So I'm out here and probably drifting about 2.5 knots, and that's just current with a little wind push. So I use spinning tackle with braid. So I love the feel of braid. I love the way that you can kind of set up on these things, especially muttons when they start running with the spinning reel. So anyways, one reel's got 10 ounces of weight, the other's got 26 ounces of weight. And we just drift along slowly, and The boys will basically keep that weight as close to the bottom as they can without getting it tangled up. The leader I use is long. It's about 30 to 40 feet of 30 pounds. Andy Pink. I don't think fluorocarbon is necessary, especially out in the deep. And then I use a fresh bonita plug, which is a filleted bonita with all the meat on it, and then you just cut like a torpedo-shaped bait out of that and put a triple hook rig in it and let it drift.
Wow.
The other favorite bait of mine is a fresh ballyhoo plug. Cut the head off, cut the tail off, put a triple hook rig in the belly, string line these 3 hooks down the belly of this fish and let it troll along like a plug. And they don't spin, they're beautiful in the water, and muttons love them.
Well, I certainly hope you catch a bunch of them.
Okay, so here's the question, Mike. What do you do with the head and the tail?
Well, the head and the tail, like I told the boys, just hold them on my cutting board. You never know when there's going to be muttons or anything coming up to the boat. So in this depth, it could be a mahi that slides up to the boat. We got a bait, pitch-ready bait.
Perfect. Baits or hook baits if you have to school a little dolphin, mahi coming up to the boat.
Yep, so always have your pitch rods ready. Good question.
Wow. So I'm curious, Mike, how hot is it out there right now?
Very comfortable. Very comfortable. Not even breaking a sweat yet.
Oh, great.
There's a little haze. There's a haze in front of the sun, kind of like a light.
Yeah, I noticed that. Noticed that when I went out this morning. There was like a haze out there. I just thought it might be here in the neighborhood. So it's out there in the ocean as well.
Yeah, it's knocking out the big burn. So it feels nice out here.
I wonder if that is the Sahara dust that they were talking about. The dust that every once in a while will get picked up into the upper atmosphere and literally travels halfway around the world. And I remember years ago we had it here in Florida. I came out to my car one morning and there was this fine, just very, very fine sand on my car. It was amazing to think about how it's gone halfway around the world. So maybe that's what we're seeing. It's got kind of a rusty color to this haze.
This kind of looks a little bit more like cloud haze, but it could be the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that when I walked out this morning. I thought to myself, I wonder if that's what that is. Well, my first thought it was, last night we had so many, I don't know if this happens in your neighborhood, but I have fireworks nuts all around me, and they lit fireworks off all night long, and of course it was quite still out here where I'm at last night, so when I took my dog out to let him go to the bathroom after things began to settle down a little bit, it was all smoky out here. It looked like a fire. We were in a fire. We've been in a fire. Dang. So that's what I thought at first when I walked out this morning. Holy smokes, it's that still at the but then as we were walking along, I could tell that's not it. It just looked different.
Yeah.
Well, it's, when I look at the cameras, the Hillsborough Inlet camera specifically, and when you can't see the horizon out there, and I'm used to Connecticut pea soup fog, so that's exactly what it kind of looks like, a little low haze, flat calm, probably looks like the winds are picking up a little bit, but you always be aware of your weather when you go out. That's the most important thing, because you don't know what you're going to come back into.
This is true. Well, how long do you plan on staying out, Mike?
This is a short day for me. I mean, my son surprised me with a visit, so a little quick morning trip. I'll probably be back in by 10 o'clock. It doesn't look like it's, from what I've heard, it's not that fast and furious right now. So I might, when I get off the phone with you guys, we'll drop some jigs, some vertical jigs on these racks and see if we can bend the rod. And,
there you
go. Just head back home.
I remember something about your son. He recently did something that we congratulated him for. Is that the one? Is that the son?
Yeah. This is the one. He just got his law degree, and
that's what it was.
Bar and,
Yep. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Takes a lot of work to get to reach that point in life, and it kind of reflects back on the parents as well, that there was support there that enabled him to be able to do that. And that's what family's all about. That's why I try to do this show, to give families an option. There's something that we can do. You don't have to sit around and watch Netflix and whatever else is on the boob tube out there. You can go do something as a family. Enjoy it as a family. Father and son, and sometimes as the whole family. That's the thing that really sticks out in my mind. Anyway, Mike, thank you. You are such a wealth of information, and you're so gracious with your time. I definitely appreciate how many times that I've called you and said, Mike, can you call in tomorrow? And he's right there for me. So God bless you, my friend. Wish you an awesome, what's left of it this weekend, 4th of July, Independence Weekend. I'm going to let Carolyn say goodbye to you, and we'll go to a break.
Yeah, 2 quick things, Mike. Where can we find out about your kite bags? And if you would please send us some photos. If you catch something with you and your son, we'll post them up on the page.
Yeah.
Absolutely will. Looks like he's hooked up right now. So
tight line.
you can reach me at kitefishing.com, just the way it sounds, and also on Facebook, Kite Fishing Experts Mike Simko. My information's on there, and my products, the Kite Keeper and the bait bar, will be able to be found on there. So
excellent.
Perfect. Forward some photos. We'll get them out. It's nice to have you and your son out fishing, so look forward to speaking with you again.
Thanks, Carolyn. Thanks for Scala. Have a great day.
God bless.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is Fishing in Florida with your host, Riscala, and my co-host, Carolyn, with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to get on the phone and call my friend over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning again, Riscala.
I want to say a quick thank you to some of our affiliates. One that sticks out in my mind is Marina Rock. They are the Yacht Rock sister station, located down there in Miami. They are another internet radio station. They're one of our latest affiliates. A big thank you to Yacht Rock. By the way, if you have the TuneIn app, that's just another way you can catch us. If you listen to Yacht Rock, they are a TuneIn station. So if you go to Yacht Rock on TuneIn, you can find us there every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. off of the Yacht Rock. I'm sorry, maybe Marina Rock. I'm not looking at my notes, but it's one of the two. And, of course, now the easiest way to listen to us is to download the app. We do have an app that's available. It's absolutely free. It doesn't have push notifications, no spyware, none of that stuff. You just download the app. You can listen to whatever's happening on our home network, which is WCET-FM. That is one of the ways that you can find it. Or you can put fishing_in_Florida in the search bar, and that is in the Google Play Store. We're working, that is for Android, by the way. Working on iPhones right now. I wanted to see how it worked out with the Android. Looks like we introduced it a little over a week ago. Had well over 1,200 downloads so far. So people are starting to download the program and enjoying it. I hope they're enjoying it. A lot of people downloading it. All right, so let me welcome my next guest, another one of the people who is so gracious with their time. And I call her at the last minute and I go, Betty, help. I got a slot that just is open and I need someone to fill it. And she jumps right in there. She's one of those that... she's like, I think, a baseball. One of the players that you pull up and it looks like, oh, yeah, this is going to be an easy strikeout. And they just hit a home run for you. And that's what Betty has done for me time and time again. Thank you, Betty. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's exciting to always be on your show. And we're really pleased that we just conducted last weekend our first in-person Ladies Let's Go Fishing seminar within the coronavirus restrictions.
Interesting. So how did that go?
It went great. It was, we always take a class photo, and we had like more than 20 ladies. And this was over in Fort Myers. They have a little, they have some different, they don't have as strict restrictions as they do in South Florida, of course. So I was like, okay, how am I going to take a group photo? And if you look on our website at ladiesletsgofishing.com in the photo gallery, I just had them all stand in rows and stagger themselves, pretty much 6 feet apart. Most of them were wearing masks. We did that, and we did the hand sanitizing and even the knot tying, like people just distance. We wore our masks, and we were really excited. And then I'll go back into it now because the ladies went fishing on Sunday, and they nailed the fish after the seminar.
Wow. So this is what I like about Betty. She goes literally from A to Z. She has different classes on different aspects of fishing. It could be how to tie the knot. It could be how to put the bait on. It could be how to cast the rod. It could be how to cook the fish. It doesn't leave anything out. It just depends on which one of them you go to. And this is available all around the state, right, Betty? You don't hold it just in Fort Myers.
Right, and we've been doing virtual seminars as well. We've got one July 7th, and that opens up everything. It's like a little TV show. We have captain's reports, and ladies can interact and speak. I'm going to be doing cooking fish with Pinko, and that opens it up to a lot of ladies. We also do events. We have one scheduled for the summer in the Keys, and that is going to be our Scream and Reels tournament. That is in August 14th to the 16th. We have Scalloping August 8th in Homosassa, and that came from our virtual seminar. I was showing scallops on a half shell, and I had Red Ed from Homosassa on the show talk about it.
Yep.
And it's all video, and live video. And so we put together a trip. And then I have South Florida here, August 21st through 23rd. That one we're going to do virtual. And we're going to do the classes virtual, but the fishing, we are going to offer the Sunday fishing. And then we move to Tampa and to back to the Keys with a full seminar in October. And then we have the Progressive Insurance, Tampa show, September 12th to 13th. And then we have St. Augustine surf fishing in November. So, yeah, we have a busy schedule.
Wow. You know what I like about what you're telling me here is that even with the restrictions that are in place, you're still able to put this together and have these seminars and these teaching sessions. Because there are, depending upon where you are in the state, some places it's very restrictive, and other places are not quite so bad. But the important thing is that you're willing to go through whatever it takes to put it together. So, to try to bring some degree of normalcy in this insanity that we're going through. So I like that. It really stands out to me that you're there still doing what you've been doing all along, even with all of these things that kind of work against us, if you will. Still kicking and going.
So when the world changes, you got to change with it.
There you go. And I think you're doing a jam-up job.
Well, we could have given up, or we could have kept going. I mean, these ladies in Fort Myers last weekend, one boat in a half day. Okay, 4 hours. All right. One boat released 16 fish.
Wow.
Another boat released 20 fish. I mean, we're talking, nice redfish. There was some big snook. And then sea trout up to 20 inches. And for some ladies, this was their first fish they ever caught.
Oh, how cool is that?
So for some people that don't know, Betty, tell us a little bit about your seminars, because I'm hoping to come up to St. Augustine. But the girls sign up, they come over, it's 1 day, 2 days, you help put them on boats. Tell us how the whole process works so other ladies that might be nervous feel comfortable about coming and giving it a try.
Well, they're all a little different, and yes, you don't need to have any experience or equipment to do Ladies Let's Go Fishing. So we normally have, depending on the area, we may have a Friday meet and greet. It's either in person or virtual when they get to know the ladies. Saturday, we have the seminar where, depending on where they are, we have speakers on how to fish, fishing basics like how to hold the reels, what is the drag system, what is pound test, things that people never talk about when you're out on the boat. Then we have hands-on skill practice for knot tying, hook to line to leader, using lures. Last time we had Bait Box Annabelle bring a bucket of live shrimp, and the ladies got to reach in and figure out what's it like to grab those shrimp, because fish move, and they don't want to be screaming on the boat. They have to get over that. And we do outdoor skills, spin casting, fly casting sometimes. We had Debbie Hansen showing fly casting, and John Feder and Rob Fusenecker last weekend. Spin casting, fly casting, and sometimes net casting, sometimes trailer backing. That's Saturday. Then the last day we reserve for fishing, and they pre-sign up for what they want to fish on, then we organize them on the boats, and off they go. Then they learn more. It's kind of like, if you learn how to paint and don't have the paint, you need to go out and actually do it, and practice what you learned, and then realize what you have left to learn. And then for St. Augustine, that's 2 days, 2 half days fishing on the beach Ladies can choose from Saturday or Sunday, and we have the Night of Lights golf tour. So we add in other things because the ladies want to socialize.
That was my next question. So you help everybody with reservations and as far as where they're going to stay, and there's meet and greets, and ladies hang out at night and then fish during the day. So it's a whole, almost like a retreat for women fishermen.
Yes, in many places we'll have a host hotel. They have to pay for that, of course, but and then we organize the charter boats. It's pretty tricky because we have to secure them months in advance, and then either keep them or let them go as it gets closer. And we put that's why I ask the ladies to sign up early, because otherwise, if it's 2 weeks before or 3 weeks even, I tell the captains, I don't have your boat filled, take another charter. And then a lady signs up and wants to fish, and if the boat isn't full, it's based on individual monies going towards the funds to pay the captain. If the boat isn't full, we can't pay the captain. So it's one of the hardest parts of Ladies Let's Go Fishing, because I'm usually able to get ladies on a boat. It's the last minute ladies where I only have 2 people on a sport fishing boat that takes 6. And I'm like, well, no, we can't do it. If you had signed up 3 months ago or 2 months ago, we could.
Well, I can relate to that. One of my daughters, I call her the 11th hour girl. She waits till the 11th hour. Hey, Dad, no, you had to wait till now to tell me that? You couldn't have told me that, a while back. You couldn't have planned it out better.
Well, what I'll do sometimes is, we'll get sometimes there's a death in the family. Somebody can't come, and their money's already spent on the charter boats.
Yeah.
So I tell people just sign up anyways, because you never know. And there might be a lady at the class that says, I'm not feeling so good. I don't want to go fishing, and I'll put them in their spot. And a lot of times it works out.
Well,
or I'll set up a split charter where they have to pay a little bit more, and there are 2 on a boat and the rest is public. So I really, really work hard to get all the ladies out there fishing.
Do you do anything like award ceremonies or fun little prizes, things like that?
Yes, I have 2 events in the Keys, and they aren't fun little prizes. They're big prizes. I give away rods and reels, sunglasses, Smith Optics, Costa Del Mar, art prints from Guy Harvey and famous artists. And I've got to say, most of the ladies who fish win. We deal with beginners, so they're really lax rules. The captain can help you. You have to reel in your own fish, but they're not strict tournament rules. And then for the other ones, if you caught a fish, I put your name in the bucket and start drawing names. So you don't have to feel bad that you were on a boat and some other lady caught a bigger fish than you and won a rod and reel. You still have chances to win.
Cool.
Well, that's the most fun part when I do these little tournaments or some of these bigger tournaments is getting yourself to some kind of weigh-in or awards. And it doesn't matter if you caught a 5-inch fish or a 400-pound fish. Just to get a little prize is so much fun, and I can imagine the camaraderie of those ladies is amazing.
Yeah, and if the fish are legal, I tell them to bring that fish in anyways, because that might be the only fish of that species. Even though you think it is small, you can win prizes.
That's neat. So there's many different activities and many different ways to win. And, of course, the bottom line of all of this that I like about it is that if we can get the ladies involved, then I think it's easier to make it a family thing than it is when you have ladies who'd like to go, but they're intimidated because they don't know about it, and maybe their better half is not so patient in that area of their life. And this allows them the opportunity to go find out. Maybe you're one of those people who would fall in love with it if you could just be exposed to it under the proper conditions. And that's what this is about. This is enabling ladies to become proficient at angling, and in hopes that what they do is a lifelong skill, something that they'll enjoy for the rest of their lives.
Well, one thing I discuss is conservation, and also don't feel bad if most of our ladies usually catch fish. It just depends what the conditions are and such. Last time, everybody caught lots of fish. But if you are on, say, a sport fish boat and the fish isn't that, fishing isn't that great or whatever, you can learn from the other ladies catching the fish. Watch what they do right, watch what they do wrong, and the whole thing is it's a learning experience.
I think that's
Catching is
it.
a side benefit.
I think that's it in a nutshell. It's a learning experience, and it's learning something that you can have and use for the rest of your life. That's, I was telling, I think it was Missy that was on earlier. You learn the skill of fishing. God forbid that we ever need it becomes to that it becomes a need, but you learn the skill of fishing, and if you ever run out of food for whatever reason, 2/3 of the planet is water. Here in Florida, we're like a giant sponge. We got canals, we got lakes, we got the ocean on 3 sides. If you ever run out of food, there's a way to get tons of food. There's an abundance of food out there if you know how to do it, and this is one of the ways to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tuesday I have to show cooking fish and panko. I only have 2 fillets left because I've been working instead of fishing. And another thing we show that happens on the boats that's hard to show in the class. That's why all the ladies who sign up should go fishing. For instance, what happens when your lines get tangled? That's something that you learn in the actual experience. And once you sort of go through how to untangle your line from somebody else and who stops reeling, who reels, who lets back on the drag, that's something you have to learn when you're actually out there fishing.
Didn't even think of that. Yeah, we in the military, in my days in the military, we call that OJT, on the job training, real life, real stuff. I never even thought about that, Betty. That's
well, there's other 3 letters you can use for abbreviations, but
but I never thought about what do you do to help somebody understand what happens if you get. How many of them are fishing at one time? You could probably have, up to 7, 8, 9, 10 people fishing at one time, right?
On a sport fishing boat, it's 6, but sometimes they go on the party boat. And then you get somebody with braided line, okay, and their fish runs, cuts everybody's lines off. And, that's just something that you have to learn from experience, what to do. If you've got mono and there's a braided line and a shark going across your line, you got to let some slack out, and then you won't get broken off.
The little things, all the little things that when they're put together can make it or break it, really, is what it boils down to. Well,
I can tell you it's probably more patience on that boat with a bunch of women, because the few times that we tangle the lines, the guys get so frustrated they start cutting hundreds of feet or yards off the lines because they're just not willing to untangle it when it gets to the boat. Me, I'm willing to untangle it and save those rigs. So that's a great tip that I didn't even think about, Betty.
Well, fishing is a lot of unexpected. And just when you think you've got everything nailed, something else happens. You're like, oh, how am I going to fix this one? How am I going to get this wind knot out of braid? One thing I teach them is bring some chapstick. And if you don't want to lose your braid and your line, you rub that on the knot, and that way it makes it easier to work the knot out.
Say that again. Okay, wait a minute. Say that again. Bring some chopsticks?
Braided line gets wind knots.
Uh-huh.
And they're really tight and they're hard to get out. But if you rub some chapstick on the knot,
chapstick. Okay.
That is enough little grease you can back that knot out.
Okay. My hearing is going. The joys are getting. I thought you were saying chopsticks, like what they use in Japanese people.
Lip balm.
Chapstick. I got it. I'm really. Oh my gosh. Oh, Jiminy. All right, my dear. Well, that's what happens when we're having a good time. We're running out of time very quickly. I want to give you an opportunity to, if people want to get more information about Ladies Let's Go Fishing, how are they going to do that, Betty?
Best thing is our website, ladiesletsgofishing.com. Also, Facebook has really up to date. We keep Facebook updated a lot. And they can email me. I have a new email address, info@llgf.org, for people with little phones and big fingers. They don't have to put in ladiesletsgofishing.com.
Well, that certainly makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say so long to you. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. Go ahead, Carolyn. Well, I thought she was going to go ahead. I think she's muted herself, and she can't unmute herself.
Oh, there I am. Hey, Betty, I just want to mention, I'd like to come up and do that St. Augustine surf casting. So let's get together on that, and tight lines. Have a great holiday.
Yeah, when you sign up, please put a note who you are so I can see that.
Will do. Can't wait.
I'll be up to that one. I'll be there. So, and it's a fun one. You'll enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you. Tight lines,
got it,
everybody.
Betty.
Thank you, Betty.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah, fishing in Florida.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me. She is my co-host. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax. Miss Carolyn, welcome back, my dear.
Happy holiday weekend to you and everybody, Riscala.
It's amazing that I keep thinking Independence Day 2020. I'm still caught up back there in January, February, somewhere before all the insanity started with this pandemic thing, this whole nonsense. Anyway, as we move forward, I have my next guest, Orlando, and I think he's here in the West Palm Beach area. Welcome to the Fishing in Florida Show, Orlando. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, we are in the capital of fun and sun and fishing.
And
I'm here with my wife, my best fishing partner, Susie.
Good morning. How's everyone doing today?
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Good morning, Susie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're excited to be on.
So, Orlando, are you planning on doing fishing today?
I've got family in town, and they want to go fishing, so we're either going to be doing some snorkeling or we're
cool.
going to do the best we can out there on the open waters.
So, when you go snorkeling, first let me make sure you're in West Palm. Is that where you are?
Actually, we live in the village of North Palm Beach.
Okay, so you're basically in the Palm Beach area. When you go snorkeling, where do you do the snorkeling at?
Our favorite spots are out on the ocean in front of the breakers. There's a series of reefs out there. They're beautiful and have lots of marine life. But if you can't get out to the ocean, Peanut Island, the east side of Peanut Island is awesome. Also, by the Blue Heron Bridge, there's a lot of artifacts that have been placed there in the water for anglers and also, diving enthusiasts to see.
The Blue Heron Bridge, let's see, I think that was the one that we went to. There's a whole bunch of stuff by the bridge that it's in relatively shallow water. I think it's only like, 10 or 15 feet deep. And there's, I don't know why, I guess they do it on purpose. There's sunken boats there you can see. There's a whole bunch of stuff underwater you can see there. I'm familiar with that one because I know a couple of friends of mine have gone out there and taken some pictures underwater. It's pretty wild, some of the stuff that you see out there. I was curious about, because we hardly have anybody that reports about under the water or, what's going on under the surface of the water, if you will. We get lots of reports about what's happening from the surface, but very little bit with what's happening under the surface. So I was curious to get some feedback. So what you see out there, when was the last time that you went snorkeling?
Last week.
And what you see out there looks healthy?
Oh, tremendously.
Excellent.
It's the marine life here in West Palm Beach is very strong.
Well, we had an issue last year where the lake was being drained, and depending upon who you talk to, it was being done in an irresponsible manner, and it was having a tremendous toll, particularly on the West Coast, but some of it over here as well. It was damaging some of the reefs. It was killing some of the life out there. The West Coast suffered tremendously from it, so it's good to hear that it's all coming back.
So, Orlando, what kind of depth are you guys snorkeling in?
Those reefs are somewhere between 12 to 15 feet. Sometimes you go out a little further and you're in 20 feet of water.
So are you seeing anything on those reefs that we would normally be fishing for from the top that knows fishing's a little bit lower now that's coming out to play? I mean, are you seeing any wahoo or dolphin or anything in that kind of depth?
No, it's too close to shore. They don't like those kind of fish. Stay out a little further.
Got it. Any grouper, snapper, yellowtail snapper is in that depth?
Not in that depth. When we bottom fish, we'll go out to about 130 feet of water, and if the Gulf Stream's always going north, but the surface wind can affect your drift. But if you get a nice southeasterly breeze, you can run up the coast of Palm Beach and hit about every reef you can find between the Dodge Wall and the Juneau Pier, and do really good with yellowtail, snappers, pompanos, African pompanos. We had a nice African pompano on. Well, actually, all we brought up was the head. We either got sharked or we got barracuda, but man, this head was huge.
Wow.
We fish. We fish once or twice a week. It's something that Susie and I love to do, and we kind of feed the whole neighborhood. We never freeze the fish. We always give it away.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I have to find out where you live so I can move in next door or something close by.
I was going to say, you've got your candidate for fresh fish right there with Scala. He's a little inland, and he loves fresh fish. I sent him a Uber load
God
of
bless
fish
you.
not too long ago.
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe it.
We've caught so many tunas this May and June that we couldn't give it away fast enough.
Oh, Lord. So when you were doing the tuna thing, I take it you're top fishing. What were you using for bait?
We're using live bait. We go to about 30 to 45 feet depth and use a sabiki reel rig, and we catch the fresh sardines, and we put them in the live well and head on out. Do a little bit of bottom fishing, and then when it starts getting the sun starts going down, we rig the fresh sardines, the live sardines, and put them at different depths, and there you go.
Wow.
Susie, can you tell me how you catch sardines? Because the only way I catch them is in a box that's frozen.
It's a little. It's funny. You gotta find that cluster on the bait cluster on the screen, and you gotta make sure that you stay over it. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge. And then just putting the sabiki rigs in the water and feeling the fish bite, and no blue runner or something else, barracuda, try to get your live bait. It's a challenge.
What about, are the sardines mixing with the pilchards? Because I know normally the pilchards seem to be on the top, and I would love to give it a try to catch sardines. But like I said, I go to my local store and buy a square box of them, but I've never heard of anybody sabiking them, and that's kind of cool.
There's a lot of them, and a lot of times, we'll stay there probably about an hour or two, and catch about 2 or 3 dozen, and you just gotta see that nice blob of bait fish on and they're down below. Like you said, they're not on the surface.
What typical depth are the sardines when you're seeing them on the bait finder?
Anywhere from 30 to 45 feet.
Oh, wow. So
we've been with Carolyn. We've been really spoiled. Our next door neighbor is probably he's a young man. When we moved into the neighborhood, he was still in high school, maybe 14, but he is a Class A #1 fisherman, angler. I mean, he does everything. So he's taught us the right way, and when you go fishing with Susie in Orlando, it's a full day event, because like Susie said, a couple hours catching your bait, and then you start venturing out. On Tuesday, a week ago, Susie wanted to catch dolphin, and the seas were calming down. We were hoping that the debris and the weed lines would kind of organize itself, and we ran out probably 22 to 25 miles.
Wow.
We saw a lot of color change in the water. A lot of birds running around. Believe it or not, we threw some live bait on some of the color changes that we saw, and we didn't catch a dolphin, but we caught a nice sized blackfin tuna.
About 1,500 feet of water, which is really unheard of.
Wow.
And when we came back in to bottom fish, guess who showed up? the dolphins. We were in 100 feet of water.
I think we even caught them at 80.
Oh.
So
It was
they're a fun group, but just not knowing where they're at is it's a lot of fun.
That's probably my favorite type of fishing is dolphin fishing.
That's one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Susie,
Carolyn?
what do you like catching your little dolphin on? Do you have a go-to fishing rod, a little spinner? What do you go to when you're ready to catch some dolphins?
We have a little spinner. Yeah, I have a little spinner, and once they hit, boy, and they don't go for that dead sardine. They'll go for the live bait.
I've had them go for the hook, just a shiny hook, when they get into a frenzy.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You got to catch them on a frenzy. But if not, they're very picky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
tell you, Orlando, something happened to me. I had a whole school of them in the Bahamas around me, right close enough to walk on, and they didn't want anything to eat. One of my friends got a gaff and started free gaffing 2 of them right into the boat with a gaff.
Wow.
I never saw anything like that.
Wow.
That
had to be exciting.
That's crazy.
And I never saw so much blood all over a boat because those things were picked off
Yeah.
from the bow
Yeah.
and they flopped all the way to the back of the boat, and
Yeah.
it looked like a murder scene.
Yeah. If you've never been mahi-mahi, what we call dolphin fishing, one of the rules is you need to have an ice box ready and open. As soon as that fish comes out of the water, it's got to go into the ice box, because the majority of these boats are white on the inside of the boat. You will literally turn it red in a heartbeat. It won't take long at all. And it only takes 1 or 2 fish. Once you catch them and they start bleeding and they're flipping and flopping all over the place, oh my gosh, you got blood everywhere. It's just unbelievable. So one of the things that we would do, we would make sure that we had a big ice box, and when somebody hooked up, that box was open and had a layer of ice in it as well. That box was open as soon as that fish came out of the water into the ice box, and the top is closed. And the next time you open that ice box up, it looks like you were doing a blood run for somebody. That's just the way it is. Yeah.
One of the things that we've gotten pretty used to doing with our catch is we've been cutting their throats and bleeding them out, and it really tends to keep the meat very, very white.
Wow.
So that blood start running through everything. Yeah, so you gotta yes, the dolphin get very animated on the deck, but as soon as they start calming down, you gotta cut them as quickly as you can and bleed them out, and
I never did that.
It will
Wow.
totally change the taste of your catch.
Wow. Were you aware of that, Carolyn? Did you do that?
I was not. So how long from when you get it in the boat are you actually bleeding them out, Orlando?
If you can right away. Sometimes, I understand what you're saying about throwing them in the ice box, but I'm telling you, if you can kind of figure out a way to hold on to that guy for a little bit and then you can cut him, it really makes a big difference on the mutton snappers and the yellowtails, even the tunas. The tunas, man, I tell you, you bleed the tunas out and you get a nice red color, and that dark blood kind of line is gone.
So quickly, if you can quickly, how are you doing this? How are you bleeding them out?
A pair of scissors, good sized scissors, and you're cutting them where the gills are, where they open up, come together, right in there.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Never tried that, but I'm going to. So you're thinking the meat is totally different then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big time. Susie's our resident filleter. She fillets all the fish while I clean the boat, and so she swears by it.
Yeah, nothing like catching, filleting, and cooking. I think I'm a keeper. Don't you think, Carolyn?
I think so. Anybody that sits over a bait ball for 2 hours is a keeper. You had me sold back then. So.
Oh, my. Well, Orlando and Susie, thank you so much for taking time to share with us. I'll have you back on sometime here in probably in the next month or so, you can give us an update on the latest that's going on out there and the fishing. Greatly appreciate it. I want to wish you an awesome, what's left of it, an awesome weekend here, an awesome day. I'm going to let Carolyn say goodbye to you, and we're going to go to a quick break. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Absolutely. Orlando and Susie, thanks for calling in. Happy holiday, tight lines. Can't wait to have you on again.
All right, you guys take care. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So long.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Right!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the last portion of the Fishing in Florida Show every Saturday. Let's try that again. Every Sunday morning, Saturday. Jeez, where'd that come from? Every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Lots of ways you can listen to us. The easiest of all of those is to download our app. It's a free download. You can find it in the Google Store. I think it is in Apple now, but I'm not sure yet. It is available for Android only. We are working on the Apple version of it. Free download, no spyware, no push notifications, none of that stuff. Just an easy way to listen to us. So that's the easiest of all the ways that I can think of. The next easiest way is if you're on the web, you can go to www.wcetfm.com. That's our home network. And you can listen to us there. Also, WCET-FM is a subscriber-based station. So if you want to make a donation to help us keep going, help the network keep going, please consider that. That would be awesome. Another way you can listen to us is if you're on Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page, Fishing in Florida, and you'll see there's a Contact Us button there. Click on the Contact Us button, and you can listen. You'll be connected to our live server. And while you're on the Facebook page, give us a like. That makes us relevant in all the searches. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me, and my favorite thing about Carolyn, the thing I like to say about Carolyn is if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there, Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning again, Riscal, and to all the listeners. Happy holiday.
Yeah, it's, I can't believe it, Independence Day 2020. It's just, my mind is back there around February, before all this stuff started. I got a text from Angelia. That was our next lined-up guest. She is kind of a regular for us, those of you who are new to the listenership. And our listenership, by the way, I want to say a big thank you to all you guys out there passing the word around. The numbers are really surprising, and I think the app may have had something to do with that because it just makes it so easy for everybody. However that may be, the numbers are going up, and a big thank you to all the listeners and supporters. Greatly appreciate it. Angelia was going to be our next guest, and she got called out early. She is professional captain, and she has some really very interesting stories to share with us. And I was hoping she could give us an update as to what happened. She was up in Alaska and had an incident up there with the COVID thing going on, so the gig that she had planned didn't go through as planned, and that's what happens when you go fishing, right? You can go looking for something particular and do everything that you can to see to it that the odds of you catching whatever it is that you're looking for are in your favor, and you can still not work out. And that's kind of sort of what happened there. She did everything she could, and the odds were in her favor, but something came up out of her control, and she found herself back in the Keys. So I am very excited to have her, back in the Keys because she was my Keys contact. She was the one who was telling us what's going on down in the Keys, what kind of baits to be using, and what the depth of the water was. And I was going to miss that, but we're not going to miss it anymore because she's back. And so we'll have her on next week. In the meantime, I say quite a bit when I welcome my co-host back about Atlas Trax. I want to take a minute and talk a little bit about Atlas Trax because you got some really, really cool technology. And one of the things that really stuck out for me, of course, I love the little credit card thing. We didn't talk at all last week, I think, and so far this show about the little pet thing. How's the pet thing doing?
Well, actually, thanks for asking. So I have two pet GPS trackers that are going to get shipped out. One is actually going to be an auction item at a tournament this weekend in Palm Beach called Big Dog Fat Cat. That's a lot of fun at Sailfish Marina. So on site in the parking lot, they'll be doing dog adoptions. There's usually a couple ponies and cats, all in air-conditioned vans waiting to go to their forever home. So I'm donating one to that event as well as a small mini track. And to circle back to Angelia, if that's all right, I just want to mention that she took one of our trackers to Alaska with her, which is really exciting. And she just got home. I told her to put it on her boat. So I can tell you she just left for her charter, Isla Mirada, and is in the channel about 4 minutes ago, probably heading out to get some bait. So we've got the Florida Salty Cowgirl with us on tracking too, just for safety and for her to check and see where she goes later. I
was trying to cue it up, but I can't cue it up fast enough. That song, the Stalkers, I'll be watching you. I was going to play that for you.
I'll tell you, I'm better than your best ex-girlfriend as far as stalking people. So if we need to find them or some family member calls us and needs a little help, I'm certainly happy to get on there and do a little stalking myself. And usually it's all good stuff. How far away are they from home? And I can tell you, she just, I'll send you a picture, just got in the canal right now, or a channel heading out of Isla Mirada. So she did mention she had a last-minute charter, which is great. I'm glad to see her busy again.
Yeah, because she's among those who have been hit tremendously hard. And I just want to remind you guys on the other side of the microphone, if you're going to make a decision to do business with somebody, please consider doing business with a small, family-owned, locally owned company before you consider doing it with the big guys. We really need your help more than ever now. All of the small businesses, the majority of the people that come on the show are small businesses. And more than ever, because of what has happened to us with this pandemic thing, we really need help because many of them may not recover from all of this. And there's so many advantages in dealing with small businesses versus the large guys. And Carolyn is one of the first to tell you that she's available just almost any reasonable hour. You have something that you have a need for, she's 110% ready to go do for you. Within reason, but I mean far more than a big corporation is ever going to do for you, and you become part of the family when we're talking about things like this. So one of the things,
it's interesting because I actually met a customer over the weekend, and I forgot, was one of them that had his boat stolen in 2016 about this time of year, and he called me at 4:11 in the morning from Bimini with his boat underway toward Grand Bahamas.
Wow.
And he was able to track the boat, and I got up and started tracking the boat. And I'll never forget, Riscala, we were watching it go, island, 72 miles, right? Because they didn't know it was being tracked, they didn't start disassembling it or damaging it. And I was on the phone with the law enforcement from Grand Bahamas when he told me, we see that boat coming into the canal now, and it was apprehended. It was an amazing story. But yeah, absolutely, I'm available when I can. And it's very important for theft and or safety, especially in these times when people are hurting for money. They come up with other creative ways to raise some money, and it's unfortunate with the economy. But yeah, you've got to have these trackers.
It's sad if these people would take the energy that they put into taking things that don't belong to them, how they plan it out, and some of them go through big extremes. Some of them will steal a truck, and then they'll take that stolen truck and go steal a huge a boat. I mean, in my ignorance, I always thought it was like little boats, like maybe around 20 foot, 22 foot. No. They're taking big boats with triple motors on the back of them, and then if they can't get to the boat quick enough, they take the bottoms off them, the lower units off them. These are all things that are going on as the economy has taken such a hard hit. People are, like Carolyn said, they're looking for ways to make money, and this is just sad, but it's one of the ways that money is made. Well, there's a way to protect yourself. You can get all kinds of information if you look up Carolyn at Atlas Trax. And it is ATLAS-TRAX, Atlas TRAX, atlastrax.com. We are about out of time, my friend. Thank you so very much for your gracious gift of time. And the one thing that we can give each other that we can never get back is time. And I'm ever so grateful for people like you. My throat is drying up who do that for me. I'm so happy to have you being a part of this show. Greatly appreciate it. Wish you an awesome day. Thank you so much, and let you say goodbye, and we're out of here for today.
We'll talk to everybody next Sunday. We'll see you between 8 and 10. Have a great day, Tightline.
Thank you.
Southbound. Come on, baby, let's go. Don't forget your bikini.